Hi, today I'm going to be working on some of my card holders, playing card holders. And so I thought I would just talk and sew and never know what is the best view. So I was gonna get started, and then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and bring y'all along. So first thing I do is I get my needle and some thread. This is some crochet thread, and it's sturdy, but it's fairly thin. So I thread my needle. Seems like sometimes this is the biggest challenge of the whole thing, is threading the needle. All right, so then what I'm going to be starting off, I'm going to sew around the outside edge. I was using 2 strands of upholstery thread, and it's not cheap. I mean, it's not like horrible, but it's not cheap. And if I'm doing a bunch of these, maybe I don't want to spend that kind of money, have too much money involved in it. Anyway, so the other day when I stopped, I made up a few of these, got them ready. And what I did was, the first thing I did was I took a piece of my fabric, and then I took, this is just flannel, and this is my, this would be my padding. And I'm just using scraps, and so you can see that they're not even really super round. Although sometimes there's a seam there, so I'm gonna cut that seam off. And I make my rounds just a little bit bigger than my CD, so it's not a big deal that I just cut some off. Mainly we want the CD to be covered, and as you can see, that's plenty of room. In fact, I might cut it off some more, this particular one. I'm not even really 100% sure if you would have to pad them. Maybe if you had upholstery fabric or canvas or something. Anyway, so my first thing I would do is get my fabric. Let me do these orange ones. I'm using all these scraps and stuff, and I'm just random colors, and it reminds me, oh yeah, I remember that particular pattern. See, this one's pretty bright. So the next thing I'm going to put on is one of these circles. So I want to put some glue down, and I don't want to go in the middle, and I don't want to go very far out. So I just put some on there and hope I didn't go too far out, and I didn't. And then I'm going to take my CD and put the glue on this side. I'm kind of batch sewing. So this one I center over this, and then I take a pin and I draw a circle, and that way I know if, after I've sewn around the outside, if I messed up somehow and slipped it over, or the glue wasn't dry or something. And this is the kind of glue I'm using, quick dry tacky glue. It's not like super quick drying, but it dries quick. It says premium all-purpose adhesive, quick drying and fast tacking. And it's by Aleene's Tacky Glue. And I stick it in my basket at this angle so that I don't have to, you know, get that going again. So anyway, so I put this aside and I put the other one by it, although I don't glue it down, because when my labels come in, I'm gonna sew one of my labels on and then I'll do the other side. So now I'm gonna get ready to sew, and I have my needle threaded, and I have a pretty big needle, pretty long. It's 2 1/4 inches long. So this has been sitting here. I don't even usually set them that long, but this has been here for a couple days because I got busy doing something else. Anyway, so I'm gonna do, I have a stack of them that are already done, and I'm going to do those and put the other part together, put the other side with it, and wait for my labels so I can sit and sew all my labels on. And then, as you can see, I'm just going in and out, in and out. I tied a knot at the other end. And I started telling you that I was using the upholstery thread, and then I saw somebody using this, and I thought, oh my goodness, I have a whole tote full of that, and I never want to throw stuff away because I might use it, and sure enough. Anyway, I probably have 20 or 30, 20, probably at least 15 or 20 more balls of it. So it's nice to be able to put some of it to use. And I just picked this color because it looked like I'd been trying to do something at some point and then rewound it. So I thought, well, I'll use that up. I always think I'm gonna learn to do something, and I do learn to do things, but I also get more supplies than I need. But really, I guess what crafter doesn't? I don't know what any crafters, I've never heard of a crafter that only bought what they needed and then did their project and threw the rest away or gave it away. I've never heard of such a thing. That would be, number one, horribly expensive, because if you had to buy new supplies again, yeah, I have containers of stuff, but I use them for other projects. Just like I just learned to crochet this little pocket hug this morning, and I just used scraps of fabric, and next time I'm gonna put my heart down a little farther, but I had these Google eyes on hand from some other project. I saw another one of these and it's a heart shaped, and I might try that too. Anyway, I also started a box. It's a big cardboard box, and it's got a lid. And this happens to have a Christmas theme on it. Anyway, I thought, you know what, I have 2 daughters that are teachers, and I know that one of them has a prize box. I need to talk to the other one too and see if she has a prize box. And if she does, I'll make her one too. But I thought, well, I'm gonna start making little things to put in there. So I started making out of my scraps, some of my scraps, I've been making bookmarks. And originally I was doing the ends like this with just scraps. And then I came up with this brilliant idea of putting a loop on instead of the sticking out ones. And the reason I thought it was a good idea was after you open your book and you take take your bookmark out, well, you got to hold that bookmark somewhere, or put it in the back of the book or something while you're reading. So I thought with this loop, a person could hook that onto their hand, and then as they're reading their book, that's going to be right there, instead of having to lay it on the table or drop it or whatever. So while you're reading, then when you're done reading, you just take it off of there, put it in your book, and there you go. See my book? Pocket Declaration of Independence. I need to study that more. Anyway, so this is one of the things I'm making, and I'm just gonna keep making things and putting them in the box. And I think I will take my what's that paint called? Chalk paint. I think I'll take chalk paint and paint it, and then maybe applique something on that box, and maybe put Miss Olson's prize box or something. Anyway, it would be a fun project. That'd probably take me a long time. And I thought I'd make a bunch of these and put in there. Last year I made her pocket study buddies for her whole class for Christmas, and they're just as cute as can be. So I thought I would just keep making stuff, and I thought, well, you know, I always have this trouble with making stuff, setting it aside because I'm done with it, and then when it's time to give somebody a gift or something, I don't know where it is. Okay, so I got to the end, and I kind of cross over my strings and then pull. And you want to pull tight, but you don't want to over pull. So now I'm going to switch it, flip it around so it's not crossed, and I'm going to tie a knot. And I like to do that, I think it's a quilter's knot, because you can pull it, put it on, you loop it around there twice, and you can put it on, and it sort of holds itself. It doesn't seem like it loosens up as quickly as just a one knot. So then I put my finger on it and try to keep it tight like that. And then I do a couple more knots. Gotta be secure. And this is not gonna show. And I have a trash can right beside me, so I put it in there. All right, so this one is, one half is done. So I'm gonna find a matching piece. See, that's quite a bit bigger circle. I think I'm gonna cut that down. Gives me more room to sew around the edge. But I have the only thing that I bought for this project, I shouldn't even say bought. These CDs were given to me by a friend of mine who works at a radio station. Okay, so this is ready, and this is my next piece, so I'm gonna just pile that up and set it aside, and then when my labels come in, I'll sew my label on, and then I'll do this with it, and then I'll install my button. So, but today I'm sewing that part of it. And I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Oh, and also, at first I was using felt for my padding, and then I and I have tons and tons of felt. But then I saw that flannel, not felt, fleece. I was using fleece because I had scraps of fleece. Because my goal this year is to clean out my scraps, because I have one tote of scraps close by my sewing machine that I always throw scraps in. Well, I got to looking and I have 2 other totes of scraps. So the year 2023 is Scrap Busters. Isn't this cute? Cats and dogs. So I'm doing as many projects as I can to bust my scraps. And these pieces here that I've been working with are from my mask making days. I had a whole box of pre-cut rectangles. Is that right? Yeah, rectangles. Getting ready to make mask. Well, after, I know I made 1,000 or 2,000 masks. I can't remember exactly, but I made plenty. And then I said, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing this anymore. So that, I got over with that. I mean, we all were trying to pitch in. It was kind of like the war effort back in World War II, when everybody was rolling bandages and things like that and crocheting for our soldiers. We all got behind it. But then it was different this time, because all of the theories and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the 2 weeks of masks sure didn't turn into 2 weeks. I still see people wearing masks, but I'm very, very thankful that it's not a requirement. It's a choice, which it should have always been, in my opinion. But I don't go very many places, and I don't like to go to the hospital or the doctor, because that's where the sick people are. But I have to take my husband and my mom. So I go, and I do not wear a mask unless it's absolutely required by the establishment. Anyway, so I had a lot of scraps from that. And I was looking up, I've been trying to organize as well this year. And I was looking up on one of my shelves and I saw a box and it says Odd Mask and Experiments. So it must have been from when I was trying different styles of masks. So I'll pull that down and see what kind of cute fabric I have in that. Anyway, so I thought it would be kind of fun to have y'all hang out with me while I sew my covers. Oh, I was going to show you what they look like when they're done. I get distracted. Okay, this one is, it doesn't feel like quite as padded, maybe. I really can't tell the difference between which ones have, well, I guess the ones with the fleece are a little thicker. But this is how you put your deck of cards. I don't have a deck of cards close by, but you line your cards all up in there, and then you can hold your hand. You can do, I think it'd be great for Uno or any card game, because sometimes it's just hard to keep track of them. And then if you have to go to the bathroom or go get a drink or something, then you got to lay them down, then you got to pick them up and put them back in there. But this would be a nice way to sort them too. It's like put on my hearts and all my clubs and spades and so on. And then I also like to line them up in numerical order. So anyway, I'm kind of thinking this will be very handy for a lot of people. Actually, pretty much everyone, unless there's some kind of professional who doesn't require much help, or you're so used to holding it that sometimes it doesn't want to pull right. So I'll make just a one knot there. So then it's a little bit harder than doing the quilter's knot, which I guess, I don't know. I guess I could have done that. Anyway, this will probably have to have some kind of cute button put on it. I just use whatever buttons I grab. I have quite a few, as most crafters do, or sewers. This is adorable. It'll be so cute when it's got a button on there. This is not the right color, but see, it'll have a button on there. I'll do black or white because that'll be so much cuter. Anyway, well, I hope you all enjoy your day. Stay safe and take care of yourselves. Please like and subscribe and share if you feel like it. Thank you.